It's a staggering fact. Despite having no access to healthcare or trendy supplements, the Amish outlive the typical American. In reality, this shocking truth has never been more important, especially as our life expectancy continues to drop. Meanwhile, we're all caught up in the current health fads, taking pills and chasing the newest superfoods, while the Amish are sticking to something much simpler, but far more successful. What's their secret? A back-to-basics approach to eating that emphasizes fresh, natural, and healthful foods. Their dietary choices may hold the key to a healthy living, and here's the best part. They're doing it all without spending a fortune on pricey treatments or the newest wellness craze. So what is their secret? While many of us struggle to fit a few herbs on our windowsills, the Amish are transforming their backyards into lush, self-sustaining food paradises. According to an old Amish saying, the garden's always bigger than the house. But this is more than just having a green thumb. It's about health, survival, and a time-tested way of life. When an Amish family sits down to dinner, the plate looks very different from what most of us are used to. Forget the massive piece of meat with a small side of vegetables. Instead, they fill their plates with 2 to 3 cups of vegetables, including cabbage, carrots, green beans, potatoes, squash, and beets. Not just 1 or 2 vegetables, but 3, 4, or even more at each meal. If you looked at their portions, you could think they had prepared vegetables for the entire week. But here's the thing. Their vegetable-rich diet is a game changer. According to studies, eating at least 3 servings of veggies every day can reduce your risk of heart disease and certain malignancies by up to 40%. It's similar to natural insurance, but you don't have to pay monthly premiums. Instead, you simply eat your greens. The fiber in such vegetables helps their digestive systems function properly, while the vitamins and antioxidants enhance their immune system. Take Sarah, for example. She is an 80-year-old Amish woman who continues to work in her garden every day. She insists she feels like she is in her 60s, and honestly, given her energy levels, it's difficult to dispute. While many of us are downing our 3rd cup of coffee to get through the afternoon, Sarah is out there plucking carrots and collecting cabbage like it's no big deal. And the best part? She's not alone. Stories like Sarah's are common in Amish country. What about the actual magic? It's not just the vegetables, it's how fresh they are. Most Amish households eat vegetables that were practically picked from the ground hours before they were served at the dinner table. In contrast, shop vegetables may have been hanging about for days, if not weeks, before reaching your plate. The difference in nutrient content is considerable. Fresh vegetables can contain up to 40% more nutrients than store-bought counterparts. And things get much more interesting. While we all spend a lot of money on probiotic supplements and fashionable health drinks, the Amish have been quietly perfecting fermentation for years. Instead of kombucha and pricey pickles, households will be filled with bubbling, fermenting edibles. The Amish follow a simple rule. If it doesn't ferment, it won't last. Walk into any Amish kitchen, and you'll see the story unfolding in jars of sauerkraut on the counters, homemade pickles stored in cold cellars, and crocks of kimchi lending a zesty bite to their meals. These age-old preservation techniques keep food fresh, probiotic-rich, and nutrient-dense without the use of expensive pills or powders. Fermentation is more than just food preservation, though it is certainly necessary when living off the land. Fermented foods are a vital part of the Amish diet, and most families consume them at every meal. And it's not just a tablespoon here and there. They frequently consume several teaspoons to half a cup at a time. Here's where things become really interesting. The science of fermentation is absolutely intriguing. These foods are high in probiotics, the beneficial bacteria that convert regular vegetables into gut health superfoods. And no, we're not referring to the probiotics found in those tiny yogurt cups at the grocery. A single serving of homemade sauerkraut may contain more probiotics than an entire bottle of pills found on health store shelves. In fact, research published in the Journal of Nutrition have revealed that those who consume fermented foods at least 3 to 4 times each week have significantly improved gut health. But there's more. The advantages don't end with digestion. Science has now linked a healthy gut to increased mental clarity and mood. Maybe that's why the Amish always appear so relaxed and content. They are essentially fueling their delight through their stomachs. What's even more amazing is how straightforward their strategy is. For them, it's just part of the routine. A little sauerkraut with potatoes, some pickled beets with dinner, or perhaps a tiny bowl of homemade yogurt for a snack. There are no intricate food plans or serving quantities. It's simply a natural, daily inclusion of these health-boosting foods. And here's the kicker. Unlike store-bought counterparts that are loaded with preservatives and artificial sweeteners, Amish fermented foods are pure and straightforward. They only use vegetables, salt, and a little thyme. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity. Without realizing it, the Amish have been performing one of the most advanced health practices that contemporary science is only now beginning to understand. While we're only now learning about the gut-brain connection, the Amish have been cultivating their microbiomes with traditional diets for decades. It's as if they've been doing one of the healthiest habits for overall well-being without ever realizing it. However, fermented foods are only one of the Amish health puzzle. When it comes to the cornerstone of their diet, they take a similarly traditional approach to another common staple, bread. If you were anticipating a dazzling white loaf of bread from your local Amish bakery, think again. Their credo is clear. The only white flour we know is the kind that makes bread for special occasions. This is not about being trendy or following the current health fad. It's about keeping with what has worked for generations. Hearty, nourishing whole grains that keep their community robust and invigorated. And while we're on the subject of healthy eating, we'd like to share something vital with you. The average Amish family consumes more whole grains than the rest of us. They don't merely sprinkle oats on their yogurt or eat brown rice once a week. They consume 2 to 3 large servings of healthy grains each day. Consider beginning your day with a generous bowl of steel-cut oatmeal, 1 to 2 cups, topped with a dollop of fresh butter, a sprinkling of brown sugar, and perhaps some almonds for added taste. And that's only breakfast. The Amish have already overtaken most of us in total grain intake for the day, and it isn't just porridge. Barley finds its way into their rich soups, cornmeal converts into flawlessly textured breads, and whole wheat serves as the foundation of their daily baking. However, they are not the ultra-processed whole grain goods we see in stores, which are laden with unpronounceable additives. The Amish rely on simple, pure grains, which are generally milled at local mills or at home. It is as natural as it gets. Now let us dive into the science. Consuming more whole grains has been shown to reduce the risk of heart disease by a remarkable 25%. Consider it a built-in cardiac protection system that may be activated simply by selecting the appropriate grains. Whole grains contain fiber, which helps to maintain blood sugar levels throughout the day. That means no more energy drops that send you scurrying to the coffee pot or snack cabinet in the middle of the afternoon. One Amish farmer put it perfectly. I switched from white bread to whole wheat years ago. It felt like I was dragging a plow through muck with the white stuff. With whole wheat, I can work from dawn to sunset. While this may appear to be an exaggeration, there is actual science behind his experience. Whole grains slowly release energy, giving a consistent source of sustenance. In contrast, refined grains provide a burst of energy followed by a fall. But here's the bonus. The fiber in whole grains not only provides energy, but it also feeds the healthy intestinal flora we mentioned earlier. So you get the best of both worlds. Long-lasting energy and improved intestinal health. Furthermore, whole grains are high in B vitamins, iron, and magnesium, which are frequently lost when grains are refined into white flour. However, the Amish approach to whole grains extends beyond what they consume. It also matters what they combine it with. And speaking of pairings, there's another surprising daily staple in their diet, especially given all of the confusing advice we're getting about dairy lately. Dairy is not an afterthought in Amish villages. It's a staple of their diet, and it comes directly from the source. As one Amish farmer says, "The cows here are like family. They are treated better than some people I know." While the rest of us are arguing oat milk versus almond milk, the Amish are sticking with what has worked for centuries: fresh, full dairy products from well-treated cows. Most modern dietitians would definitely raise an eyebrow if they saw how much dairy the average Amish household consumed. We're talking 1 to 2 cups of fresh milk every day, as well as regular servings of homemade cheese, about 1 to 2 ounces, and butter used liberally in cooking, typically by the tablespoon, rather than the tiny pat many of us may limit. Here's the kicker. Despite their dairy consumption, The Amish rarely suffer from lactose intolerance. What's the secret? It's most likely in how they process dairy. Their homemade butter and cheese, made using ancient fermentation methods, are actually gentler on the digestive system than the mass-produced dairy we are accustomed to. It's as if they figured out how to make dairy easier to digest without even trying. Now let's talk numbers. According to studies, those who drink dairy on a daily basis are 25% less likely to develop osteoporosis as they get older. And when you consider that the average Amish person remains physically active well into their senior years, working on farms or in gardens long after many Americans retire, it's evident that their strong bones aren't just a coincidence. They are based on years of steady dairy consumption. But here's the most impressive aspect. The Amish approach to dairy isn't about calculating calcium milligrams or fretting about fat content. They eat dairy in its most natural state, frequently within hours of it leaving the cow. The milk has not been ultra-pasteurized or homogenized. It is simply pure milk. And the way they handle their animals determines the quality of their dairy products. Amish cows graze on grass, spend their days outside, and are milked by hand, a stark contrast to the industrial dairy facilities that provide the majority of America. As a result, their dairy is naturally higher in healthy nutrients, like as omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, which have been linked to improved heart health and decreased inflammation. While the Amish are not known for bragging about their health, dairy consumption may be one of their best-kept secrets. When combined with an active lifestyle and other modest food choices, it provides a foundation for long-term health, something that many modern Americans fail to attain. But there's one more daily eating habit the Amish swear by, something little but powerful that helps them stay energized throughout their long active days. While the rest of us rely on costly energy drinks and pre-workout vitamins, the Amish have a much easier option for long-lasting energy, a handful of nuts and seeds. As one Amish farmer stated, "You want energy? Try a handful of mixed nuts. No Red Bull required." It's the kind of simple insight that makes you question why we've made nutrition so complicated. Nuts and seeds are more than just snacks in Amish villages. They are a purposeful, crucial part of their daily nourishment. And we're not talking about the small amounts many of us put on our salads. The Amish consume a significant amount, roughly a quarter to half cup every day. Almonds, walnuts, sunflower seeds, and flax seeds are frequently included in their meals. Not as an afterthought, but as essential components of their diet. These powerhouse meals are used as fuel for their active lifestyle. Their method is beautifully simplistic. These nuts and seeds can be sprinkled over porridge in the morning, blended into homemade granola, or eaten by the handful in between jobs. Some Amish families create their own nut butters and spread them liberally on handmade whole grain bread. It's a long cry from the pre-packaged munchies that many of us rely on for an energy boost. The science underlying their unconventional advice is quite intriguing. Regular nut and seed consumption has been demonstrated to lower cholesterol by 5 to 10%, while lowering the risk of heart disease by a staggering 20 to 25%. But that's not all. These small nutritional powerhouses are loaded with healthy fats, fiber, protein, and antioxidants. In other words, they are nature's multivitamin in a crunchy package. The Amish's strategy is particularly clever in that they use nuts and seeds to replenish their energy during long days of heavy work. Unlike processed snacks or caffeine, which cause a fast surge and crash, nuts and seeds give slow-burning fuel that keeps individuals going. One Amish woman described her experience. "I tried skipping my daily handful of almonds once. By lunchtime, I felt like I was dragging my feet in molasses. Never make that mistake again." The Amish also recognize the significance of food pairings, something contemporary nutrition science is only now beginning to grasp. They frequently mix their nuts and seeds with fresh fruits or include them into fermented dishes, resulting in powerful nutritional synergy. It's not about following the next superfood craze. It's about understanding how different foods interact to maintain the body strong and healthy. But maybe the most intriguing feature of Amish nutrition isn't what they consume, but what they purposefully avoid. When you learn about the items they refuse to eat, you may begin to realize why their simple dietary habits have kept them healthier than many modern Americans. When it comes to diet, the Amish have a very definite mindset. If it arrives in a box with more than 5 ingredients, it most likely does not belong in an Amish kitchen. While many of us are discussing which protein bar brand is best or which frozen supper is the healthiest, the Amish have already decided that processed food is not food at all. The list of foods they avoid reads like a normal American shopping cart. Processed meats such as hot dogs, bacon, and deli meats, not within their homes. Sugary beverages such as soda or energy drinks, never. Prepackaged meals, not a chance. Their attitude is refreshingly simple. If it wasn't prepared in a kitchen, it doesn't enter their bodies. Here's the catch. It's not about strict rules or deprivation. The Amish do not shun these foods because of a fad diet or the newest health guru's advice. They shun them because, as one Amish elder stated, why would we eat something made in a factory when we can eat something made by nature? It is common sense carried to its logical conclusion. And you know what? Science supports their instincts. According to the American Heart Association, eating a lot of processed foods can raise your risk of heart disease by up to 30%. Think about it for a second. While many Americans inadvertently raise their risk of heart disease with each processed meal, the Amish naturally safeguard their hearts by eating whole, authentic foods. What's most interesting is how this strategy influences their relationship with food. Without the continual assault of processed options, they are not trapped in the cycle of cravings and energy crashes that many of us are. Their meals are gratifying because they are made from real, unadulterated food, rather than salt, sugar, and fat mixes designed to keep you going back for more. Don't think the Amish don't appreciate the occasional treat. However, unlike the boxed, preservative-laden options that most of us pick for, their treats are produced from scratch with identifiable ingredients. A slice of pie cooked with fresh fruit and butter? That's a far cry from a factory-made croissant with a preservative list longer than your grocery bill. It's quality over convenience. Substance trumps shortcuts. One Amish grandma put it perfectly. We don't need a scientist to tell us what's good for us. Our bodies can tell the difference between real and phony food. This insight, passed down through generations, may explain why the Amish maintain superior health results while having less access to contemporary treatment. The beauty of their method is not in what they give up, but in what they get from eliminating processed meals. They establish a complete cycle of nourishment by naturally consuming entire, nutritious foods such as fresh vegetables, fermented foods, whole grains, dairy, nuts, and seeds, which has served them well for millennia. When you consider all of these factors, what they eat, and more significantly, what they avoid, a larger picture emerges. The Amish style of eating is more than just a diet. It's a lifestyle that could teach us all something about navigating the modern food world. The question is not whether we should all start living like the Amish. Rather, it is about what lessons we can learn from their approach to make our own lives healthier and easier.